Hey guys, this is Captain Daniel Kim, Asian dating coach, and in today's video, I'm going to talk about how to find the best dating coach for you. Okay, so if you're an Asian guy watching this, it's gonna help you a lot if the coach is Asian, okay? And I heard some coaches say, especially Caucasian coaches say, that's just a limiting belief you have, that because you're Asian, you're struggling in the West, or I even had some Asian students say, maybe that's just a belief, I don't have issues with that, whatever. Okay, but here's the thing. Racism and prejudice against Asians exists. You can't just turn the blind eye. That's like when you smell, wherever you are, let's say you just have this BO, and everyone says you have BO, but you refuse to believe it because you can't smell your own BO, right? So a Caucasian coach will never understand what an Asian guy goes through when he goes through bullying, what kind of prejudice he goes through. He will never understand when a girl says, I never thought an Asian guy was attractive, or you look like this for an Asian guy. He will just never understand that because he's not Asian. So ideally, if you could find a coach who is Asian, that would greatly help him understand where you're coming from. Because you can't tell a guy who is going through racism or girls are judging him because he's Asian or he has Asian accent and tell him, don't worry about that, okay? You're putting too much emphasis in it. That's not empathy. That's not being a good coach. You gotta understand where the student's coming from, okay? That's the first one. Make sure, he at least understands what it takes to be an Asian guy in the dating world in the West. Oh, and also, if you're looking for a non-Asian dating coach, make sure he's not a Caucasian coach who goes to Asian countries and basically dates Asian women or Southeast Asian women and basically exploited them. That's not a dating coach, okay? He's basically going to a country where he has a huge advantage and he's using that and going to try to teach those skills, which are not even skills, right? Because the girls just flock to him because he's white and he's trying to teach you that. That's not even a dating coach at all. That's just being a white supremacist, a white racist who's trying to exploit women in Asia. So don't even consider any non-Asian coach who does that kind of stuff. So cut that out. But that's the first thing, right? Make sure he understands you being Asian or he's an Asian coach. Number two, look at his Instagram. Okay, why is that important? Here's the thing. You could be like, oh, Danny, you have a good Instagram. Obviously, like that's what you're going to try to set up. So no, the thing about right now at this age, right? The thing about dating or whatever you want to call it, you need to follow with the trends. And right now, where is all the beautiful women? If you want to learn from a dating coach, most likely you're looking to date the most beautiful women in the world. Where are most likely the most beautiful women in the world? Yeah, you could say a bar, you could say a nice hotel, blah, blah, blah. But if you want to look at beautiful women and actually know they're real, we're going to go Instagram. And he doesn't have to have 10,000 followers, 100,000 followers, a million followers. He doesn't have to be that kind of like coach or Instagram influencer. But basically, when you look for a dating coach, you need to look at his Instagram. You need to personally look at your Instagram and put on your own thinking hat of, if I was a girl, would I find this attractive? Especially if this coach is teaching you online dating. If he's teaching you online dating, Instagram is a must, because usually from online dating, the girl's gonna check if you're a real dude, and Instagram is what verifies that, because there's so many weird fake people on dating apps that if your dating coach does not have a good Instagram and he's teaching you online dating, then he's obviously missing the point of what online dating is. Okay, so if he's teaching online dating, he must have a good Instagram. If he's teaching other kinds of dating, I think you should still ask the coach if he has, can you look at his Instagram? Because if he doesn't, that's really weird. Because yeah, the coach could say, I don't date women who social media, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But social media is now a thing, okay? There's literally a phrase for it where you say you DM a girl, blah, 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 like that. So if the coach does not even have a good Instagram, you gotta start raising questions. Does he actually know what is attractive to a woman in the modern era, right? Because at least the younger girls all gonna have some kind of social media. Even if they're not consistently on social media, everyone has Instagram. It's even a new way of communication, and it's a new way to also attract the women you want, right? It's a way to show your attractive lifestyle. So make sure you look at the coach's Instagram, and don't look at his followers only, but I'm saying, is his Instagram very attractive? Is it an Instagram where you're like, oh wow, like I could tell this guy will probably have some girls attracted to him? And if you see that's a really good plus, right? And he's basically understanding what the women's psychology in the modern day is, which is social media, right? Okay, number 3, make sure the coach himself understands where you're coming from. So a lot of students look at me and they're like, you're tall, you're attractive, you have muscles, blah, 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 blah. That's where you get the girls. Well, I always show them my backstory. I always tell them my backstory. I used to be overweight. I worked on this for 8 to 10 years. I took 3 coaching lessons with 3 different companies, 3 different coaches. I worked on my inner self. I worked on self-confidence. I took some like seminars. I did everything, guys. Like, I worked on myself to become this, all right? So no matter how much you say that, hey, I'm ugly, blah, blah. Oh yeah, even short, okay? You could say you're short to me, but I'm not gonna act like I know what it feels like to be really short. But also, I've been around other guys who are taller who sometimes I feel insecure about. So I know the whole point is I'm not gonna try to make you like me anyways. I'm gonna try to figure out how to improve your weaknesses and also strengthen your strengths, like make you stronger in your strengths. I'm not trying to make you like me anyways, right? So on that point, make sure the coach, if he's completely not like you and like me, you'll probably think I just get girls because of my looks. See my backstory, see that coach's backstory. Like, did he work hard for it? What's his background? Was he actually a nerd? Blah, blah, blah. And he became this way. If he's just a guy who always was a natural, most likely he probably won't be able to pass down his skills because he always was good at getting girls. But I know there's a lot of coaches that some others can relate to more, like maybe they look like them more, blah, blah, blah. But make sure you understand that coach understands where you're coming from. On addition to that, a lot of these Asian dating coaches are taking students outside of their own city. Like, for example, most students that I work with are in America. I teach them how to be successful in their city. I don't tell them, like right now I live in Asia. I'm not gonna tell them how I learn how to date in Asia. It's different. And honestly, it is easier. I'm not gonna lie to you. Dating in Asia is easier because here I'm just a man and sometimes girls like me more because I'm Korean, right? In America, you're gonna have a hardship. And I'm gonna tell my students the hardship of being an Asian man in America. And I'm gonna teach them how to improve their game in their city. But a lot of these coaches, sometimes I know what they do. They're taking them to Latin America, they're taking them to Europe, and they're showing them like, hey, these countries, it's normal. But if the coach does that to help you in certain skills, but tells you, hey, this is not the norm, learn how to do these skills where the girls are already attracted to you in these countries and take it back to America and learn how to use it in America, that's now a great coach, right? Because he understands that in some countries you have an advantage and the girls might just like you or neutral towards you, instead of America where like already losing attractive points because you're Asian. So make sure the coach understands that, hey, I want to learn how to date in my city, in my local area. Do you understand where I'm coming from? And he's not telling you, hey, this is what I do in this country and this is what I'm doing now. Yeah, dude, of course it's working for you. You're in Asia, you're in a country where they love you. And this is why I told you, any white coach who's living abroad and living in Asia and trying to teach you how to date in America, he obviously has no game because he's going to a different country to gain girls there, right? So honestly, don't listen to any coach who's trying to teach you his ways while he's living in a country where it's easier for him. He needs to understand where you're coming from. You're in the States, you're having a difficult time there. What is he teaching? So honestly, those 3 things are probably the best indicators of what a great coach could be. And lastly, guys, most of these coaches, and I do it too, they're gonna be on a sales call with you, right? They're gonna try to get on a call with you and they're gonna try to talk with you. Everyone knows when a guy's trying to sell them something. So really figure out if this coach, and even me, if you decide to work with me, listen to me if I'm trying to actually help you or I'm just trying to get something out of you. Because one of the main questions I ask on my calls, right, and I don't even want to call them sales calls, I call them, I would say connection calls, because I really want to understand where my Asian brother's coming from. I always tell them, even if you don't work with me, this answer, this question to this answer, or the answer to this question I'm going to ask you, this is the most important. And I actually asked them, like, are you willing to settle for the life, the dating life you're living now? And as long as they say no, and they tell me they're willing to change their life now, even if they don't work with my program or they don't have the money for it, honestly, I always tell them, hey man, you still made a decision, go forth. And let's say they have money problems or they can't work with me now, I tell them I'm willing to be like, hey man, and I'm not gonna try to chase and be like, hey, we can figure out. If he really genuinely has money problems, I gotta let him fix that first. If you have no money, you can't focus on dating when you have no money. You have to get your other parts of your life handled and then work on that. So make sure that coach understands where you're actually coming from. I know most of you guys want to work with me or work with a dating coach to prove this. I know that. But sometimes you're not ready. You're not ready for it. And that's where the coach needs to understand, hey, come back. Maybe it's not the right timing. So make sure that coach, you feel that from him. He's like, man, like I could tell he wants to work with me too, but for me, I care about you guys enough where like if you have nothing else in your life handled and you're kind of desperate and that's where you're trying to at least get some kind of happiness through dating, I'm not gonna make you take out your life savings. I'm not gonna make you quit your job. I'm not gonna make you do things and ruin your life just for dating, right? I want to make sure other parts of your life are handled and then you come into dating. So make sure the coach cares. I think that's the biggest thing. Like once you pay him, it's like, right, when a girl has sex with a guy, they always say the guy changes, right? Well, for a coach, once you pay him, is he always on time? Is he professional? Is he really trying to help you out? Is he reaching out to you? Does he check up on you when you don't message the coach? Like you need to understand, like you're giving this guy not only money, but you're giving him kind of like you're really like being vulnerable to him, right? You're pretty much saying, I'm not good in dating. I'm not getting a lot of girls. I'm very lonely. Can you please help me? And if this coach sees you just as a client, like just be careful of that because he's just gonna if you don't get results, he doesn't care. And for me, I just feel like as a dating coach and as an Asian coach, you really need to understand how painful it's for the students. And you know why I understand? Because I used to be a student just like you. I went through my own good coaches and bad coaches. So I really wanted to share this with you. And like I said, I would love to work with you, but find a coach that actually cares about you and really wants to help. So I hope that helps, guys. Captain.